Hello and welcome to Daily Speak English. Hi everyone, I'm Lucy.
And I'm Jack.
You have big dreams. You want success. But when it's time to work, suddenly your bed is calling your name.
Today, we're talking about a problem that stops millions of people being ambitious but lazy, and something we both struggle with. Having huge goals but zero energy to work on them.
You want to learn English, start a business, get fit, travel the world. But when it's time to start, Netflix looks way more interesting.
And we're not judging because we've both been there. So today, we're sharing real strategies that actually work.
By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to turn your ambition into action.
If you're tired of procrastinating, subscribe and give us a thumbs up.
Let's transform your dreams into reality. Jack, I need to confess something embarrassing.
What is it?
Last week, I spent 4 hours making a perfect study schedule for learning Spanish. Color-coded, detailed, beautiful.
That sounds productive.
But here's the thing. I followed that schedule for exactly 2 days. 2 days! Then it disappeared into my desk drawer forever.
I totally understand. I did something similar. I bought expensive running shoes because I was going to start jogging every morning.
Did it work?
Those shoes are still in the box. I wore them once, around my apartment, just to see how they felt.
So, we both spent time and money planning to be productive, but we never actually did the work.
That's the ambitious but lazy problem. We love the idea of success more than the process.
And I think everyone watching can relate to this feeling.
Absolutely. So let's understand why this happens.
First, we need to talk about the psychology. Our brains are actually designed to avoid difficult things.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors needed to conserve energy for survival. Working hard when you didn't have to was dangerous.
So our brains are programmed to choose rest over effort?
Exactly. Your brain sees a big goal and thinks, that's too much energy. Let's stay safe and comfortable instead.
That explains so much. So, when I think about writing my book, my brain panics?
Yes. It sees all the work required and activates your avoidance system. Suddenly, checking your phone seems very important.
So what's the solution?
We need to trick our brains. Make goals so small that our brain doesn't see them as threatening.
Can you explain that more?
Sure. Instead of saying, I'm going to write a book, you say, I'm going to write 1 sentence today.
Just one sentence? That seems too easy.
That's the point. 1 sentence is so easy that your brain has no excuse to say no.
But will one sentence actually lead to a book?
Yes. Because here's what happens. You tell yourself it's just 1 sentence. You sit down, you write that sentence. But once you're already writing, you usually keep going.
Oh, I see. The hard part is just starting. Once you start, momentum carries you forward.
Exactly. So the goal is ridiculously small, but the result is often much bigger.
I love this approach. What are other examples?
Instead of, I'll study English for 2 hours, say, I'll learn 1 new word.
Instead of, I'll clean my whole house, say, I'll clean one dish.
Instead of, I'll exercise for an hour, say, I'll do 5 push-ups.
These are so achievable. My brain can't come up with excuses when the task is this small.
That's the power of micro goals. They remove all resistance.
Now I want to share a strategy that really helped me. The past tense method.
Oh, I've heard of this. Tell me about it.
Instead of writing a to-do list of things you need to do, you write about your day as if it already happened successfully.
Wait, like I'm writing about the future but using past tense?
Yes. Instead of, I need to go to the gym today, you write, I went to the gym this morning and felt amazing.
Why does that work?
Because it changes how your brain sees the task. A normal to-do list feels like pressure and obligation. But writing in past tense feels like a success story.
That's clever. So you're creating a vision of success instead of a list of chores.
Right. Your brain starts to believe the positive outcome is possible.
Can you give me a full example?
Sure. Instead of writing this, go to gym, study English, call mom, finish report. You write this. I woke up early and went to the gym. I felt so energized. Then I studied English for 30 minutes and learned 5 useful phrases. I called mom, and we had a lovely chat. Finally, I finished my report before dinner. I feel accomplished and proud.
Wow, that makes me actually want to do those things. It sounds so positive and achievable.
That's the magic. You're programming your brain for success.
I'm definitely trying this. Now, let's talk about something I discovered recently: how to make boring tasks actually fun.
Yes, because let's be honest, some tasks are just boring no matter what.
Right, like doing laundry or answering emails. But if we can make them enjoyable, we're way more likely to actually do them.
So what's your strategy?
My first trick is pairing boring tasks with things I love. I call it task pairing.
What do you mean?
For example, I hate folding laundry. It's so boring, but I love listening to podcasts. So now I only listen to my favorite podcast while folding laundry.
Oh, so you're creating a reward system.
Yes. Now my brain actually looks forward to folding laundry because it means podcast time.
That's brilliant. What else works?
Music. I put on energetic music when I clean my apartment. Suddenly, cleaning becomes a dance party.
I do that too. Cleaning with music is so much more fun than cleaning in silence.
Another strategy is making it a game. Set a timer and challenge yourself to finish before it goes off.
Oh, like a race against time.
Yes. Suddenly, the boring task becomes an exciting challenge.
What about rewards? Do you use those?
Absolutely. I tell myself, if I finish writing this email, I can have my favorite coffee. Small, immediate rewards work better than big, distant ones.
That makes sense. Your brain needs immediate gratification to stay motivated.
Right. When I finish this project, I'll take a vacation is too far away. But when I finish this task, I'll watch one episode of my show works perfectly.
These are all great strategies. Now I want to talk about something fascinating: the Zygarnik effect.
I've heard of that. It's about unfinished tasks, right?
Yes! Have you ever started watching a TV series and felt compelled to finish it even when it wasn't that good?
All the time. I'll start a show, and even if it's mediocre, I need to know how it ends.
That's the Zygarnik effect. Our brains hate leaving things incomplete.
So once we start something, our mind keeps thinking about it until it's finished?
Exactly. And we can use this psychological quirk to overcome laziness.
How?
By just starting. You don't have to finish. You don't even have to do much. Just start something tiny.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say you need to write an essay, but you don't feel motivated at all.
That's relatable.
Instead of trying to write the whole essay, just open the document and write the title. That's it.
Just the title?
Just the title. Once it's started, your brain will keep thinking about it. Later that day or the next day, you'll find yourself naturally wanting to add more.
Because your brain wants to finish what it started.
Right. The task feels incomplete, and that uncomfortable feeling motivates you to continue.
This is so smart! So the secret is making the first step incredibly small.
Yes, don't aim to finish, just aim to start.
I love this! Now let's talk about something really important: the difference between being busy and being productive.
Oh, this is crucial. Because you can spend all day working but accomplish nothing important.
Right. I've had days where I'm busy from morning to night, But when I look back, I didn't actually make progress on my real goals.
What were you doing?
Checking emails, scrolling social media, organizing my desk, reading articles, making plans, lots of activity, but no real results.
That's the trap of busy work. You feel productive because you're doing things, but you're not moving toward your actual goals.
So, how do we avoid this trap?
We need to learn to prioritize. Focus on what's truly important, not just what's urgent or easy.
I use a simple method for this. Every morning, I ask myself one question.
What question?
If I could only accomplish one thing today, what would make the biggest impact on my goals?
That's powerful. It forces you to identify your real priority.
Yes, everything else becomes less important. I might still do other tasks, but I make sure that one important thing gets done first.
I like that. What about the Eisenhower matrix? Do you use that?
I do. It's a great tool for organizing tasks by importance and urgency.
Can you explain it for everyone watching?
Sure. Imagine a box divided into 4 squares. Every task falls into one of these categories.
Which are?
First, important and urgent. Do these immediately, like deadlines, emergencies, critical problems.
Second,
Important but not urgent. Schedule these like exercise, learning new skills, long term projects.
third,
Urgent but not important. Delegate these if possible, like some emails, phone calls, interruptions.
and fourth?
Neither important nor urgent. Eliminate these, like mindless scrolling, excessive TV, time wasting activities.
So, most people spend time on urgent things, but the really important things get neglected,
Exactly. That's why successful people schedule time for important but not urgent activities.
like learning English. It's important for your future, but it's not urgent, so people keep postponing it.
Right. You need to make it a priority and schedule it, or it will never happen.
Now let's talk about something many ambitious people struggle with: perfectionism.
Oh, this is a big one for me. I used to let perfectionism completely paralyze me.
What do you mean?
I would have a great idea for a project, but I wouldn't start because I didn't have perfect conditions. I didn't have the perfect equipment, the perfect time, the perfect knowledge.
So you were waiting for everything to be perfect before you began?
Yes, and of course, perfect conditions never came, so I never started.
That's the perfectionism trap. You wait for the perfect moment, which doesn't exist.
Exactly. Meanwhile, people with good enough conditions were starting, learning, and improving.
So what changed for you?
I learned to embrace being bad at things. I gave myself permission to be a beginner.
That's hard. Nobody likes being bad at something.
I know, but I realized something important. Everyone who's good at something was once terrible at it.
True. Every expert started as a beginner.
Right. So now when I start something new, I expect to be bad. I actually celebrate being bad because it means I'm learning.
That's a great mindset shift. Instead of, I'm bad at this, I should quit, you think, I'm bad at this, which is normal for a beginner?
Exactly. And here's what I do now. I choose one thing where I deliberately practice being bad.
What do you mean?
I pick a hobby where I don't care about being good. For me, it's painting. I paint terribly. My paintings look like a child made them.
But you keep doing it?
Yes. Because the point isn't to be good. The point is to enjoy the process and get comfortable with being bad at something.
That's brilliant. It trains your brain to be okay with imperfection.
Right. And that courage transfers to other areas. Now it's easier for me to start things even when I'm not good at them yet.
I love this strategy. Now, I want to share one final technique: thinking like your future self.
Tell me about this.
Instead of asking, what should I do? You ask, What would my successful future self do?
Oh, that's interesting. Can you explain more?
Sure. Imagine the version of you who has already achieved your goals. How does that person think? What choices do they make? How do they spend their time?
So, if I want to be fluent in English, I imagine myself as someone who's already fluent.
Yes. And then you ask, what would a fluent English speaker do right now?
They probably wouldn't skip their daily practice.
Right. They'd study consistently because that's what fluent speakers do.
So, you start acting like the person you want to become, even before you've become them.
Exactly. And here's how to make this practical. Write down 2 daily routines.
2 routines?
Yes. First, your current routine. How you actually spend your day right now.
Okay.
Second, your future self's routine. How would the successful version of you spend their day?
And then compare them?
Yes. Look at the differences. What habits does your future self have that you don't have yet?
And then start adopting those habits one at a time.
Exactly. You're bridging the gap between who you are and who you want to be.
I love this. It makes the path forward so clear.
It does. Now let's do a quick summary of everything we've learned today.
Great idea. First, make your goals tiny, so small your brain can't resist.
Use the past tense method. Write about your day as if you already succeeded.
Make boring tasks fun with music, pairing, games, and rewards.
Use the Zygarnik effect. Just start something tiny, and your brain will want to finish it.
Distinguish between busy work and real productivity. Focus on what's truly important.
Use the Eisenhower matrix to prioritize your tasks effectively.
Embrace being bad at things. Give yourself permission to be a beginner.
Think like your future successful self. Ask, what would they do? And do that.
These strategies will transform your ambition into real action.
Now it's time for our question of the day.
We have 2 questions for you.
First question, what's your biggest goal right now? Share it in the comments.
Second question, which strategy will you try first? Tiny goals, past tense method, task pairing?
Tell us. And here's a challenge for you.
For the next 7 days, pick one micro goal and do it every single day.
Remember, make it tiny. Study 1 word, write 1 sentence, do 5 push-ups.
Keep it so small that failure is impossible.
Then come back after 7 days and tell us how it went.
Did you stick with it? Did it lead to bigger actions?
We read every comment, and we'd love to hear your progress.
Remember, you're not lazy, you just haven't found the right strategies yet.
And now you have them. You have everything you need to start taking action.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Daily Speak English.
We create videos every week to help you improve your English and achieve your goals.
Share this with someone who has big dreams but struggles to take action.
Thank you so much for watching. We believe in your potential.
Your ambition is valuable. Now let's turn it into achievement.
We'll see you in the next video.
Until then, keep learning and keep taking action.
See you soon.
Goodbye, everyone.